What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So we had another couple teams eliminated from the playoffs, that being the Los Angeles Lakers, your Orlando Magic, the two teams I still need to do. Obviously, more teams will be eliminated from the first round as well, but I wanted to do the Magic today. I think everyone is very aware of what this Magic team needs to take it to the next level, so let's just go ahead, jump in, and talk about it and do this Orlando Magic Offseason Rebuild in 2K25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 50,000 subs, and YouTube does tell me that 56% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you want to change that, that would be awesome. I am, at the moment, recording this ahead of Game 6 between Houston and Golden State. I don't know exactly when this video is going to be dropping, but that is the context, so I don't know if it would really matter. If I don't think some bomb news is going to drop about the Orlando Magic, but if it does, I guess that's why I'm not talking about it today. But we all know, like I said, what the Magic need. They need a perimeter shot creator. They need a point guard. It's been the problem for a year or two now, and there's been, we thought they'd address it last offseason. They didn't. They brought in KCP. That was their big move, and they need to do more than that. So that's what we're here to do today. I don't think we can waste any time. There's no filled out year again. It is go trade for a point guard this offseason or sign one. There was rumors about them being interested in Kobe White, I think at the deadline or something like that. But you have the Knicks and the Wolves in the finals, and the Timberwolves just beat the Lakers last night, so that video is coming too. But yeah, the Timberwolves just won, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did go all the way and win it all. So Conley's going to retire in a ring. Let's go ahead and get into the lottery. So for the draft lottery, we have... I don't think we have a lottery pick from anybody. So we got Spurs get number 1, which is terrifying to think about, obviously. And then, do we have a first round pick in this draft, or do we have like 2? So our pick is going to be 16. So we can work with that. And I thought we maybe had another pick in this draft, but maybe that's in the future. We're going to keep Jamal Mosley as the head coach. But before draft night, I have told you guys, we have 22. I just didn't see it. So we have 16 and 22. So they have plenty of ammunition to do something. And we have to do something, like I said. We can't just stand pat and do nothing. A point guard or some type of perimeter guard needs to be brought in to pair with Paulo and Franz Wagner. I've done a bunch of videos on that, obviously. I brought in LaMelo before. I brought in Trae Young. I'm going to try to do something different today. I'm going to see if I can make it happen, but we'll have to see if we can. So let's go to draft night, and let's go take a look at all the options that Orlando could potentially get them, get their hands on. So Dallas probably has nothing for you, and Kyrie's probably going to resign. Brooklyn has Cam Thomas, I guess, but no. Jamal Murray, I mean, I guess the Nuggets fail. Maybe Murray becomes available, but he just had a great game with 40 the other night. Pacers aren't trading Halliburton. Nembhard, maybe, but I don't know. Probably not. New Orleans, no. So obviously, let's just skip to the teams that I want to talk about. So first and foremost, obviously, Devin Booker is definitely interesting, and he is by far my favorite potential landing spot if we can grab him today. To start things off. I mean, obviously that'd be the big move you can make. And then of course we got to go all the way to Atlanta with Trae Young, which I kind of talked about. There's Tyler Hero, who could maybe be available if you wanted to grab him. And then you have LaMelo Ball. But one thing I did think about, which I thought would be interesting, is if we found a way to bring in Austin Reeves. I thought of a weird trade in my head, and again, I haven't given it much thought, but Austin Reeves I think would be kind of interesting and someone I don't usually bring in, which is why I kind of like the idea of it, because it would be different from what I usually do. And I have kind of a mock trade in my head, but I would definitely understand if everyone thinks this is dumb. But I kind of want to do it because it's different from what I could do. Like I said, I could go trade for Trae Young. I could go trade for LaMelo Ball, but I've done that before. So the other one would be Devin Booker in Phoenix, which I think could potentially happen, but Houston might get him. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Maybe they don't trade him at all. So I want to build this mock trade for you guys that I have in my head and see what you guys think about it. And we'll see if the Lakers even want to do it. But let's build it out, and I'll show you what I'm thinking. So here's my thought process. We all know the Lakers need size, and Wendell Carter shouldn't be like their home run move and be their starting center, don't get me wrong. But someone off the bench or who could start at times, I think would be a really nice addition for the Lakers. And Austin Reeves didn't have a great series against Minnesota, but I think Reeves would be kind of a fun new idea that I've never really done before, which is why I want to do it. So the Lakers do this because not only do they get some size, but they also get some draft capital to help them make other trades to build around Luka, because they're very limited on the assets that they have. So to me, I think this could be a win-win for both sides. I don't know if the Lakers would accept this, and they do not. So that's already a fail to start things off. But this was my idea that I kind of thought of. I don't want to go too further. Like I give you Gary Harris in a couple seconds, but if they say no to this, then maybe we don't do it at all, and they say no. Okay, that's fine. So we're not going to get Austin Reeves, but that was my first idea. I thought Reeves to Orlando could make some interesting sense for Wendell Carter and Austin Reeves to be swapped and maybe throw a couple picks at the Lakers. Maybe this is too much, but I thought it was something different that I don't usually do. So obviously, here's the other idea for Devin Booker. So Devin Booker could potentially be available in the offseason if Phoenix implodes, which, you know, they didn't have a great season. They didn't live up to expectations. Will they trade Devin Booker? That remains to be seen. But here's the big offer I have for D-Book. If we can't get this to go through, we might have to settle on something less than this. And they do agree. So just like that, our first move of the video, rightfully so, is to pair Devin Booker with Paulo and Franz Wagner. So Devin Booker is headed to Orlando, and I think that could be maybe something they look into. But again, Trae Young, LaMelo, and then someone I always, mention, and Blazers fans talk about this all the time, Anthony Simons could be a guy for them as well that I think could make a ton of sense. He's from the area, grew up a Magic fan, and he's kind of exactly what they need. But if you wanted an upgraded value, obviously, you could go for Trae or LaMelo or whatever. So we get Devin Booker. We settle that. I didn't give them 16 or 22 because I feel like the Suns would probably rather have like picks in the future, obviously, just in case they're better. So pick 16, we got Noah, we have Asa Noel, we have Rasheer Fleming. So I do think I'm going to start with Rasheer Fleming here at 16. So I think that's a solid pick to bring in. And then we have Ben Seraph or Colin Murray Boyles, which I think I'm going to go ahead and take Ben here. So this gives us another guard, and we'll have that. And that feels like a pretty good start to this rebuild, honestly. We bring in Rasheer Fleming, Ben, Cam Jones in the second round, not bad. We'll two-way Sanford. And this is, I guess we can't do that. Never mind. So player options. We got Paulo, Corey Joseph, which we'll go ahead and decline. Mo Wagner, we will accept because he was pretty good for them before he got hurt. And obviously his brother's still here too. We'll accept Jet Howard, and then Caleb Houston can be accepted too. Although I will tell you, the Devin Booker trade we made, I think there would probably be more young players involved than what I did. But 2K only has 6 trade slots, which I kind of wish you could fix in a way. I know I could do like multiple trades and even it out or whatever, but so now we have Devin Booker as our star guard in the backcourt, which is what we needed. And he'd be a perfect pairing with Paulo and Franz Wagner. I would love to see that if something like this were to happen. So, and he gets sent out east as well. So the Suns will have to deal with, him in the west. So Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Devin Booker, Ben, Franz Wagner, Tristan Silva, and then Paulo, Rasheer Fleming, Wendell Carter, Goga Badadze, and Mo Wagner. So I think I'm cool with this for now. I think Devin Booker was obviously the big move I wanted to make, and we're going to roll with what we have. So I'm not going to do anything else in free agency unless if there's some bird rights I need to worry about, but none. So let's just go straight to player progression. We'll see what this roster is looking like going into year one. So 2K has listed power ranked 11th overall, which isn't too bad, and we're already a 4.5 balance. So we make the big move for Devin Booker, and it seems like 2K agrees with it so far, but we'll have to see how it works out in the simulation. I've noticed sometimes when I rebuild the Magic, the sim isn't very friendly to them, so I'm hoping that won't be the case today, but we'll have to see. So Suggs, Devin Booker, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter is your starting 5, with Goga Badadze, Cole Anthony, Caleb Houston, and Tristan Silva, which I like. And then once Mo Wagner's healthy, we could probably get him involved, obviously, in the rotation as a 10th man off the bench. That looks good. Another thing I'm going to look at is shot tendencies, because I do think this could definitely affect some things. So obviously, Booker and Paulo need to shoot the ball. So that's great. Franz, that's actually where he's at. I actually don't mind. So I'm going to push it down maybe just a tad bit. So something along the lines of this, I think, looks pretty good. And I'm hoping that this team works out. I mean, 4.5 balance, you would think it does. And this would make the Magic a contender, I think. So we'll see if it does work out that way. But like I said, man, sometimes the simulation is not that friendly to Orlando. We'll just have to see how season 1 goes. So at the end of season number 1, MVP goes to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Igor is your rookie of the year. Randall's your 6th man in Houston. Very interesting place for him to land. Giannis is your defensive player. Vazelis most improved, and Hero is your clutch player, and Greg Popovich is your coach of the year, and Phillips is your executive. So here's your All-NBA first team with Shai, Jokic, Doncic, Giannis, and Stephen Curry. All-NBA second team where LeBron, Halliburton, Evan Mobley, Trae Young, and Anthony Edwards make it. Do we get an All-NBA third team for anybody? No. So Paulo, Devin Booker do not make one, unfortunately. And here's your all-defensive first team and all-defensive second team, all-rookie team. So we did end up as the 5th seed in the East. At one point, we did have the 1st seed, which was nice, but unfortunately, we lost it, which definitely was disappointing. But yeah, 26 from Devin Booker, 25 from Paulo, 18 from Franz Wagner, 14 from Suggs, 11 from Cole Anthony, 9 from Mo Wagner, and then 7.5 from Wendell Carter, and then 6 and 8 from Goga Badadze. All right. All that matters, though, is how far we get in these playoffs, because Orlando's been able to get themselves in the playoffs, but they haven't had much success when they've gotten there. Obviously, they did push Cleveland to 7 last year, but still, we'd like to win a series if we can, especially with a new addition of Devin Booker here in Orlando. I mean, obviously, the center spot probably needs to be the position we look at upgrading, because we're definitely going to be locked with Suggs, Booker, Franz, and Paulo as our starting 5 going forward. We just are our core 4, I guess. We just need a 5-man that fits well around those guys. So let's see how we do against Toronto. Game 1 goes to Toronto. They do have home court advantage, and they're up 2-0 so far. So far, wow, are we gonna get swept? Damn, that's brutal. I did not expect to get swept, honestly. I thought we'd have a chance to go to the second round this year, and just didn't work out that way. So Indiana gets to the finals, and the Mavericks beat them in 4. Anthony Davis is their finals MVP. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. That really sucks. So we got some more to build, and I think we'll be able to do that. We just need to get a new center in the building. I think we could be way better next year. So we got the Pelicans via the Bucks, which makes sense. Thunder via Utah. Knicks via Washington. Bucks. The Bucks let down and get the 8th pick as well. And then obviously we traded our picks. I don't know if... No, the Suns got our pick this offseason. So... Staff signing, Jamal Mosley. Is he someone that you would fire after that? Do we go for like a Joe Mazzulla? I think I would consider it. I think we have to, actually. So based off getting swept in round 1 after you bring in Devin Booker, there has to be some kind of accountability. So I am going to go ahead, like I said, fire Jamal Mosley, which I already did. I'm going to try to bring in somebody different then. So we can go for Jason Kidd as well. And then even Popovich is sitting here, which would be wild. Let's see what else we got. Anybody? Stafford, Mazzulla, Jason Kidd, Mosley, Popovich, Stevens. Okay. But I'm hoping to get one of these. Of course, we don't. We don't get either of them. Okay. Well, Mosley is actually pretty good rating-wise. Peterson, I guess, is here. Mosley is, funny enough, the best head coach we could get. But I guess I'm going to go Barry Stevens. I think I called him Brandon Stevens. But Barry Stevens, who has a 5-star offense. Defense not as good, which is why I wanted Mazzulla or Kidd. But they don't choose us. We gave them all the money we could. And we get... Barry Stevens. So welcome to Orlando. Hopefully you're better than what we had with Jamal Mosley. But let's head to draft night, because we don't have a draft pick, and we just need to find a 5. We have an early second though from the Bucks and an early 18 or a mid 18th pick in the second round. But I think we might have to wait till after the draft to make any kind of trade, because we need player options accepted or whatever. So we had Maggie and Florence. Welcome both of you. Cole Anthony's team option. I think I want to accept it, because we kind of need it to trade for somebody. And I'm accept Cam Jones as well, because I want as many assets as I can to trade for someone. Paulo's ready for an extension, and then Mo Wagner. We'll see what we want to do with him. Then Houston's a free agent. But I want to see what our roster looks like before I do anything. I want to trade for my center first. So let's do that. So you have like Dern and Kessler out here, but we don't have the money for that, obviously. So let's see what we can do. So Devin Booker's making a ton of money. Suggs is making a ton of money. So this team is getting expensive very fast. And I'm assuming right now we are probably under the second apron, but I need to double check that, because if we aren't, this is going to be tougher than I thought. So salary cap breakdown, 196 million. We're 2 years in the future. It would be pretty close, I think. But I think we're a little under it if my math in my head is correct. But I need to get a 5-man. So let's go see if we can upgrade our 5 spot. We have plenty of ways to do it. Let's just see if we can make it happen. So the 2 guys I'm looking at for our 5 spot, first one being Claxton, and then the other one is Zubac, who also the Clippers didn't make the playoffs either. So I want to bring in one of them to upgrade that starting center position. So let's see. I'm going to start with the better one in Zubac, who's an 88 overall. So let's see if we can make a Zubac trade happen and bring him into, whoops, that's the Lakers. We need to go to the Clippers. There they are. Why am I, okay, I don't know why I just blanked on how the order goes, but I did for some reason. So Zubac is who I was looking for. So we're going to start with Wendell Carter, who matches his salary perfectly. Would they do a swap for him? No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? Okay, what if I give you Ben Seraph and also this early second we just had? So Wendell Carter, Ben Seraph, and Maggie for Zubac? No. Can I get to where I just trade a couple seconds your way? Not quite. Not quite. Okay, I think we might have to include one more player in this, but I'm totally fine with doing that if it means we get him. Does Jet Howard become something they'd be interested in, or De Silva? Because technically we don't need both these guys. Maybe Tristan De Silva's part of it, although, because Jet Howard's a better floor spacer who just hasn't gotten minutes yet. Let's say we did Jet Howard. Or Jet Howard ooh, wait a minute. Jet Howard might develop better than I think. What about the Silva? So the Silva is less valuable. So Carter, Ben Seraphim to Silva for Zubac. Quite a bit to give up, but Zubac would be a massive upgrade at that center position for us. And that gets done. So we just had to throw in a second. So Zubac is our brand new starting center. So we still keep Cole Anthony at this point. So I guess we didn't need his salary. Could have let it go. I kind of wish I would have now, but oh well. Jet Howard's now our 3, but that could change here in just a second. And then Fleming, obviously our backup power forward. Goga Badadste is fine with the backup center. Zubac and Badadste. And then we need to get Paulo back. And then we need a backup shooting guard. But I think what we could do is we could sign Caleb Houston back as well, who's not wanting a lot of money. So Caleb Houston could be brought back on a 3-year deal. And obviously Paulo will get his offer, which we should probably just give it to him because he's going to get an offer sheet eventually. So 5-year deal to keep Paulo around. He does accept it. So Caleb and Paulo are back. I am going to renounce Mo Wagner, unfortunately. Well, how much does he want? Because obviously I don't want to renounce him yet, but whoops, this is what I want to do. Okay, so how much does he want? I don't think it was that much, although he might be gone already. Is he gone already? He might have signed somewhere else, so we might have lucked out, or he might have signed somewhere else. Let me find Mo Wagner really quickly if I can get that going. So Mo Wagner, see if he is signed. He did. He went to Atlanta. Okay, fair enough. So we'll just keep Goga as the backup 5. So now you'll have basically Houston and Jet Howard splitting that 2-guard spot. And yeah, we're gonna have to hope for sure Fleming develops a little bit, which I've seen him do so. And then we still have Cole Anthony's contract that we can maybe use at the deadline if we feel like it. So Zubac and Devin Booker have been the 2 additions we've brought in. You got Jet Howard up to 78, Fleming's up to 78, and Houston's up to 78. Booker does go down 1 overall, which is disappointing. But yeah, I mean, you'd like to think that this team could definitely could get over next year. We don't need to get eliminated in round 1 anymore. We need to find ourselves in round 2, conference finals. So that's gonna be the goal. So once again, a 4.5 balance. So we're going to go ahead and run that here again with our new coach. We'll have to kind of see how it goes, but we know Orlando's defense is good. So hopefully it'll hold up with Suggs, Franz, and Paulo. But Suggs, Devin Booker, Franz, Paulo, Zubac. And then we're going to go 9-man rotation and run 50 bench utilization. So Suggs, Booker, Franz, Paulo Banchero, Zubac, Goga Badadste, Cole Anthony, Jet Howard, and Rasheer Fleming as your rotation. So that actually leaves Caleb Houston out of it. So I do feel like we could maybe make, well, I don't know if we have the ability to do so anymore. We're probably over the second apron now if I had to guess. Let me take a look. So we probably can't aggregate. Yeah, we're definitely over it now. So we are paying a lot of money for this team, but it's all about trying to win a championship. So I guess I'll run 10-man rotation. So Caleb Houston gets involved. He's making a little bit of money. So we'll see how that goes. And then once we get in the playoffs, we'll probably change it back to 9. All right. Hopefully with the addition of Zubac, we become a better team. So far, we're off to a much better start than we have in the recent season. If we can go 82-0, which we're not going to, I was about to say that'd be awesome. But I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. So Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. AJ's Rookie of the Year in Philadelphia. Anthony is your 6th man in Portland. Wemby Defensive Player. Ace Bailey Most Improved. Shout out to Anthony Simons, by the way, getting 6th man. Like I said, I think he'd be a perfect fit in Orlando if Orlando doesn't want to send out too much. Anthony shouldn't cost that much to bring in, and I think he'd excel. But you guys have heard me say that before, so I don't need to keep beating a dead drum. But Popovich goes 6-9-13, wins Coach of the Year. So shout out to Greg Popovich. Any All-NBA representatives this year for us? Still no. Not going to happen, unfortunately. But probably because we have a collective group effort at it right now. But one thing we do have is we are the first seed in the East this year. So we'll take that. Here are your player stats. He had 22.5 from Booker, 21.5 from Paulo. Booker has 2 years left of his deal. Franz is locked in long-term. Suggs with 13. 12.5 from Cole Anthony off the bench with 3 assists. 10 from Jet Howard. 9 from Zubac, and 7 from Rasheer Fleming, who continues to develop and get better. So let's get to our 9-man rotation, and let's finally get out of round 1, man. We have not been able to do that. Orlando, I should say, has not been able to do that in years. We get Toronto, who swept us last year, so it is a great time to get revenge if we can. So let's see if that happens. Game 1 goes to us, 140 to 127. So it looks like maybe getting Zubac fixed all of our problems, maybe, but we'll see. 24 from Paulo. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to us. Can we get out of round 1? Yes, we can. We finally do. We beat the Toronto Raptors, and we get to play Detroit or Chicago. All right. Would I rather play is the question. I mean, Detroit's been hella fun to watch in the playoffs, and they play the Knicks, I think, Saturday. Luka Doncic is in Chicago, so I guess I would rather play Detroit, but we may get Chicago. It is Luka Doncic and the Bulls. We decided not to stay in LA, I guess. Got Luka Doncic, Kobe White, Zara Williams, Buzelis, Jalen Smith. I mean, outside of Luka, this team isn't like that special. mean, don't get me wrong, Kobe White's good. I mean, he's averaged 22 in the playoffs, and Bazelis is good, but 2K doesn't give him justice as far as like becoming a elite scorer or anything. So here goes nothing. Game 1 goes to us. We beat them by 31. Game 2 goes to us. So far, so good. 3-0. Can we sweep the Bulls, or do we beat them in 5? Yes, we're in the conference finals. Okay. So just like that, we've made it to the conference finals. We can play Brooklyn or Cleveland. So Brooklyn has a very interesting team. Dude, I need to remind myself to give Caruso the extension, because 2K never has, and I don't get why, but I need to remind myself to do that in my share scenario. So I will have to do that. I'm going to do it right after this. I have to remember. So Brooklyn and Cleveland. We got Cleveland with a good team. So I don't know. I'd rather play Brooklyn, but you guys have heard me say it. Every time I play the Nets, dude, they always just beat me for some reason. I mean, when I look at this Nets team, there's no way we should lose to them, in my opinion. But the power of the Nets is real in 2K, so I can't doubt them, I guess. So Cam Thomas is averaging 25 in the playoffs. Igor's averaging 14. Jalen Duren's 15, and Asa Noel 10. Claxton's come off the bench for them. Cam Johnson, Naz Reid. So, I mean, they're deep. Don't get me wrong, but compared, I mean, we should beat them, right? So we're up. Even it up. Game 3, we go up. Game 4, we're up. And are we in the finals? Yes, we are. So we've made it to the NBA finals. We could play the Spurs or the Timberwolves. So Dillingham, Edwards, McDaniels, Leonard Miller, Rudy Gobert in Minnesota. And then obviously San Antonio went 69-13. And I want nothing to do with San Antonio, but that's who we're getting. Unless Minnesota comes back, which, please, Minnesota, please beat the Spurs, because I don't want to deal with Cooper Flag and Wembanyama. That sounds terrifying. We're going to simcast 2 teams that I'm not even using, and the Timberwolves might do it. Hang on to the lead. Hang on to the lead. We don't have to deal with Wemby and the Spurs. That's awesome. Now, Edwards is still a dog in his own right. Don't get me wrong. So this is still going to be a tough series, but I think I'd rather play this team than that San Antonio team we're looking at, because we have Castle, Flag, and Wembanyama. I think as soon as next year, this team isn't going to stop winning championships. And they still have this guy as well, who's going to continue to develop, which I don't know how to say his name. And Jabari's a nice addition too. But that's besides the point. We get to play Minnesota instead. So do we have what it takes to take down the Timberwolves? Game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to us. Game 3 goes to us. And it looks like we got ourselves a champ. Well, hold on. Hold the phone. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Can we go out here and win Game 6 and not blow a 3-0 lead, please? That would be very devastating. So we have ourselves a very close game. But it looks like we might take care of business as long as we don't blow a lead here. So in the second season with this team, we have won a championship. And Paulo is going to win Finals MVP. But because pretty much everybody is still under contract, our bench is not necessarily, but our starting 5, I think everyone's under contract. So I actually want to run it back and see if we can't go back to back. So, and then the Spurs, like I feel like we could see them next year potentially. So we'll see though. Durant retires. Paul George does too. But we got a championship in this video already, which feels great. Second season championship, always going to take those, obviously. Miami gets 1, and then we have no pick in this draft. The Suns get it. And then staff signing, obviously, we keep our new head coach who just won us a championship. And then I guess I should just double check, but I'm pretty sure we don't have any type of draft capital here. Maybe a second. We have an early second from the Celtics. They'll let my assistant GM take care of that, as we will snag Kelly Marshall. Player options, Fleming and Big Dog. Is that actually his last name? Because that's a badass name. I should know, because he plays, I don't know if he's playing for K or well, he's clearly from Kansas. And as you guys know, or most of you know, I live in Kansas, so I should know the answer to that, but I don't, because I don't watch college basketball like that, unfortunately. So Jet Howard probably gets extended, although he's asking for a lot of money. Goga Bitadze. I think we pretty much have to re-sign everybody back, because we're not going to have the money to, well, I guess, ooh, wait a minute. Tyler Kolek on a minimum? Now, there might be a ton of, well, actually, no. So Kolek on a minimum, we can actually let Cole Anthony go. Let's save some money. Let's get Kolek on a minimum, because he got waived for some reason. And that's probably going to be all we can really bring in. But there's nothing to be. Thomas Sobers is here too. We have like Drummond. But I think we probably sign Goga Bitadze. And then we're going to wait on Jet Howard. But Tyler Kolek is definitely a no-brainer. We could save some money. So we will not bring back Cole Anthony, because this team is already really expensive, obviously. So we bring in Goga Bitadze. And then I'm willing to let Jet Howard just come back on his qualifying offer. I think that's probably the best thing we could do. Or we could also just let him go, because we have Caleb Houston, who we did sign a contract to. But how did Jet Howard do last year for us anyway from 3? I know he came in as a shooter, I believe. Got 33% though. So you know what? I think I'm actually just going to renounce him. Let's just save some money instead. Cam Jones could come back on his qualifying offer, but let's let Caleb Houston get that backup 3 spot to his own, and Jet Howard can go somewhere else. So boom, we've saved some money this offseason, which was kind of needed. So player progression, Paulo's up to a 95, and then Zubac is up, and then Kolik was a nice addition. Cam Jones is up, so kind of glad we actually kept him around because he's going to be our new backup shooting guard. He was drafted in the 2nd round for us, so shout out to the assistant GM for taking care of that one. But all right, let's run it back for at least one more season to see if we can go back-to-back championships, and then I guess if we do, we can maybe look for the 3-peat, but it all depends if we get this championship here in year 3. So for 1 minute there, we were on top of the world and just hoisted a Larry O'Brien, and now we aren't even in literally the playoffs. We're in the play-in. So very weird and bizarre, but that's just the beauty of the 2K simulation sometimes, and we get to play Toronto. It would be actually crazy if we didn't make the playoffs at all here. Whoops, I think I accidentally selected something different. Okay, so 26 from Paulo, 22 from Franz, 22 from Booker, 14 from Suggs, and 13 from Tyler Kolek, who had a really good season for us off the bench. So with him on a minimum, he should get a big payday somewhere if I had to guess. But all right, we had to play Toronto in round 1, so let's hope, or a round of the play-in, I should say. And we win. So we're in the playoffs, so at least we have that for us, and we might still be able to go all the way. So we draw Atlanta in round 1, who no longer have Trae Young. Instead, they have Boogie Flan. So game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to them. Game 3 goes to us. Game 4 goes to them. Game 5 goes to them. We got a Simcast game 6 because we could be in trouble. I meant to adjust the rotation, but it's too late now. All right, so game 6 at home to force a game 7. Looks like we might be able to do so. And we will barely hang on. It was a 3-point game there at the end, but we got a game 7 in Atlanta. They want to start Kolek. It's quite surprising. I don't know if I agree with that, but I guess that's what we're doing. So we get to play Atlanta on the road in game 7. We have the lead right now, but they may take it away from us, and they will. So we will not be winning back-to-back championships today, unfortunately. So let's just go on to see who wins it, and then we'll call it there. So the Spurs, which I honestly genuinely think if we would have made ourselves to the finals, the Spurs were probably going to toast us anyway. Because look at this team, man. It's only, I mean, they added Hero too randomly, but Flag and Castle and Wimby, that's extremely dangerous. And then not to mention, I don't know how to say his name. Someone needs to tell me how to say this guy's name. But yeah, so I'm gonna end it there, man. We already got a championship in this video, and we just fell off the face of the earth in this season. And I think that's a great way to end this one off. Maybe I could have ended it on the championship, but we bring in Devin Booker and get Orlando a ring, so no complaints from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, I don't know when this video is going to drop exactly, but obviously more offseason rebuilds to come as teams are getting eliminated. But this is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.